Hey everybody, Mark Herman, aka LA Bengal fan on Twitter, repping the Bengals for the AFC Northerners. It's been a little while since my last video, so we've had some news pile up, so I thought it'd be a good time to get a video up just kind of recapping what's transpired in the last few weeks. I hope everybody enjoyed the Super Bowl. Yes, new glasses, which means I am getting older and my eyesight's getting crappier because we all know that Father Time is undefeated. So with that, let's pick up where I left off on my last video. We were covering a lot of the assistant coaching hirings. I was talking about how it was a great infusion of new, young thinking and talent outside of obviously Marvin Lewis, and I've been really happy with all the assistant coaching signings that we've done. We did sign Bobby Hart. This is a great addition to our offensive line. First of all, it's just a start, but we need to completely retool this offensive line. He's a starting tackle, and he's playing with a chip on his shoulder, so I'm real happy with this because he was accused of quitting on the Giants. So I think he has a lot to prove, and I'm real pleased. And like I said, this is a start. We're going out. We're retooling the offensive line, so real pleased with that. All right, obviously the big news is McCarron. I had hoped that we would have gotten him as a restricted free agent and been able to trade him. I know we would have got at least a second for him. He's going to be a free agent. That's the way it goes. I've been reading a lot about this, and one of the interesting things that I found is procedurally the Bengals didn't do things exactly the way they should have. One of the things that the arbiter pointed to and said in his decision was that the Bengals failed to do a physical before sticking him on the non-football injury list. That's probably because he might have passed the physical. So I get why they didn't do it, but that was the reason. He said he had no evidence before him showing him conclusively that McCarron belonged on the non-football injury list. Absent that, he had no choice but to rule the way he did. So had the Bengals done a physical and failed him, and maybe the physical wouldn't have been challenged, then they would have been okay, but there was nothing before the arbiter that allowed him to absolutely assume that that's where McCarron belongs. So it's little things like that when you're playing around with stuff that make a big difference. If you do any kind of trial work like I do, you understand that it's little things, and the little things can become big things, and this became a big thing. So we didn't get him. He's a free agent. We'll get a compensatory pick for him in 2019. As Bengal fans, the best thing we can do is hope that he gets the largest contract and has the best possible season, because we would like to get a third rounder. We have a third round compensatory pick for Zietler coming up this year. We want the same thing in 2019 for McCarron. I know Browns fans have all said, oh my gosh, he's coming to us. Listen, we were trading him to you. He can now go wherever he wants. I think that he's most likely going to wind up on Minnesota or the Broncos. I know the Broncos were enamored with him. They saw some of his best performances when in that overtime game on Monday night during the season of the meltdown. They saw him at his best. So that really is where I think he may be headed. Another landing place I've read is also Minnesota, so he could be there. Also the Jets, Arizona, and yeah, he could wind up on Cleveland, but I wouldn't shoe him in on Cleveland. He's got a lot of choices he can make, and he can be going to some really immediate playoff-ready teams like Minnesota and possibly Denver. So because they do still have a Super Bowl caliber defense. I hope everybody is enjoying the Olympics. Some important dates coming up. We've got the Combine on February 27th through March 5th. So we'll have to feature a lot of, keep an eye on a lot of players there. We have the March 6th deadline to apply franchise tags, and we have the March 14th is the start of the new league year and free agency begins. So we've got that stuff coming up, and obviously the draft, 426 through 428, end of April. So other than that, Bengals will probably, finishing up on McCarron, will probably push Driscoll. We know they liked Driscoll, so they're going to be pushing Driscoll in the number 2 spot, and look for the Bengals in the draft to be doing exactly what they did with McCarron. Late round, good passer, good pocket presence, 4th, 5th rounder, maybe 6th rounder, and just develop him. So that's probably what we're going to do there. I will chime in a few weeks when I think enough news is built up with a new video for everybody. I try to keep them short so I don't have you guys commit to anything more than 5 or 6 minutes. And we will be back on. We'll be, like I said, it's a fluid situation, so we'll see how things pan out. Look for other videos for some of the other guys, Jose and JD, Jan David covering the Ravens. We've got DGBG covering the Brownies, and obviously we've got a couple Steeler guys. Interesting to see what they do, shuffling around, trying to get Le'Veon Bell. I saw that Shazier, they picked up the option on him, so they're stuck with him. There's an $8.7 million cap hit, which is good for Shazier. He's never going to play again. Let him get this $8.7 million payday for 2018. But that still gives them, they're in a tough salary situation, so we'll see what happens. With that, I will sign off as I always do with fuck Marvin Lewis and fuck Mike Brown, and we will talk at you soon. Hoo day, everybody. Take care. Bye.